Guys, there's tons of new communities popping up all around Dallas-Fort Worth, but which ones are worth your money? Most buyers and buyers agents guess. I don't. Today, I'm scoring 3 new communities with my new community rating system, built specifically to separate the hype from the real value. With this system, we look at 5 critical factors: amenities, location, price, safety, and long-term stability. And every community ends with a score out of 10. Now let's start with this one that's quietly gaining momentum: Spiritas Ranch in Little Elm. Spiritas Ranch is a value-first, convenience-focused community in Denton ISD, just 1 mile from Highway 380 and surrounded by everyday essentials: Walmart, urgent care, and future retail. The community offers the basics: pools, parks, playgrounds, and fishing ponds, but also includes a future clubhouse and fitness center. There's currently 7 active builders in the community, which adds variety and buying power for consumers. All right, I'm gonna check my notes as we score Spiritas Ranch. Let's talk about amenities. As I pointed out, they've got good amenities here. They actually score an 8 out of 10. They've got the pool, the parks, the playgrounds, fishing ponds. It really helps that they're gonna have that clubhouse just around the corner down there. There's gonna have a fitness center in there. All right, let's move on to location and accessibility. A lot of people are not really familiar with how good of a location this is. It scores 8 out of 10. So here's the thing, you're within a mile of Highway 380. The only way that it loses points, because it has all the essentials around it. Urgent care is gonna be a mile away. Grocery store is gonna be a mile away. That Walmart up there. The only way it loses points is because we are in Denton ISD, which is just outside the top 25. It's actually ranked 28th out of all the school districts in DFW. And also, it's around 10 miles from the nearest entertainment hub, which is gonna be the PGA district over in Frisco. So that's about 15 to a 20-minute drive, depending on the traffic. All right, believe it or not, home value is gonna be where Spiritas Ranch shines. It gets a 9 out of 10. The current asking price per square foot in Spiritas Ranch is $189.30. The closed price per square foot for all the homes in Little Elm, just $185.77. That puts Spiritas Ranch only $3.53 above market value. And that puts Spiritas Ranch within the 9 out of 10 bracket for the scoring guide. All right, let's move on to safety. Little Elm generally has mixed crime reviews, but a very safe community, adequate emergency response. And you know, there's some infrastructure inconsistencies because like the main part of Little Elm is down south, and we're up here in this newer, new construction part of Little Elm, which utilizes Highway 380. So, for instance, as I pointed out, now there's a whole different part of Little Elm, and that is the Little Elm ISD part, and that is the one that is down south. So, the services with emergency response and just access to a lot of different things regarding urgent care, it's kind of all over the place. Some people down in Little Elm, the Little Elm proper is what I'll call it, go to completely different urgent cares and hospitals than we do up here. All right, guys, you're not gonna believe this. Community stability, 10 out of 10. Spiritas Ranch has 7 active builders. Maybe not right now because D.R. Horton just moved out of here. So it earns so much because it adds a variety to the look of the community, different sized lots, different products. And I have to point out the fact that the community is somewhat in its mid to late phase. There's gonna be more homes going up, plenty of homes over there, but they're not in their opening phase. So guys, the final rating for Spiritas Ranch, 8.9 out of 10. So guys, if you're after value, convenience, and a strong amenity package, I gotta say, Spiritas Ranch should be on your short list. If you're considering a new construction home or looking around DFW at different communities, this is the right channel for you. If you want your favorite home scored or a community that you're looking at, reach out to me in the comment section or the description below, or perhaps even click the link for representation. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Let's move on to the second neighborhood. All right, guys, let me be the first to welcome you to Mosaic. Mosaic sits in Prosper ISD with a Salina address, and that gives it a unique advantage. The prestige of top-ranked schools with the flexibility and pricing of a more emerging market. It's a smart move for buyers who want in early on a community that's already checking major boxes when it comes to lifestyle, access, and long-term upside. Let's see how it scores. So we just drove about 15 minutes west of Spiritas Ranch. We're here in Mosaic. This is Prosper ISD, but a lot of this community will have a Salina address. I do believe there's going to be some Prosper addresses. So let's go ahead and get into the rating system. Community amenities. We're actually in front of the giant amenity center. We're going to have a clubhouse, fitness center. We've got a resort style pool with a lazy river. That's going to be something. You got a giant catch and release pond, hike and bike trails. They're really going to have everything short of the lifestyle director. Now, this is the same developer that developed Windsong Ranch. So you know the amenities are going to be done right, and there's going to be a lot of upside to this community. With all this being said, this scores an 8 out of 10. Next up, location and accessibility. We've got the Dallas North Tollway. The nearest highway is just going to be a mile away. The nearest grocery store also just a mile away. That's going to be the brand new Costco right there on Frontier Parkway and the tollway. The nearest urgent care is going to be just 3.5 miles away past Children's Health Stadium. That is where Prosper ISD plays sports. The nearest entertainment hub is going to be the PGA District, 4.6 miles away. And of course, like I said, this is Prosper ISD, and we do the math on that. This location gets an 8 out of 10. All right, guys, let's move on to home value. Here's where it gets good. The current asking price for homes inside Mosaic are $262.47. Now, the fact that we are in both Salina and Prosper, we've gone ahead and run a joint price per square foot analysis. The blended benchmark between Prosper and Salina is $242.56 a square foot. The difference is just $19.91 above the blended price per square foot between Prosper and Salina. That falls into the $10 to $25 category. The overall home value scores an 8 out of 10. Next category, safety, which has a 20% weight. So we are here in Salina and Prosper. This is a very safe part of DFW. You could go ahead and look up online. They get a 9 out of 10 here. The only deductions have to do with the fact that there's new infrastructure going in. All right, let's move on to community stability. Mosaic is a brand new community, so there's a little bit more risk involved if you, for instance, purchase in a community like this, and for instance, you get relocated within the next 2 to 3 years. It's gonna be a little bit harder to sell your home when the builders are nearby. Now, there are multiple builders here in Mosaic, so we want to see that. That keeps communities from being cookie cutter, and as I pointed out when we were in Spiritas Ranch, it gives a little bit more leverage to the home buyer. All right, with all that being combined, we have a final score for Mosaic, and that score is 8.3 out of 10. Let's hear what the final verdict is. Mosaic is well located in a thoughtfully planned community. Very strong schools, above average amenities, a little bit above market value, but the pricing offers a good long-term upside. Now, the fact that this community is over 8 means that this is a very strong community for you to consider. Let's move on to community number 3. All right, guys, here we are in the community of Painted Tree, McKinney, Texas. Guys, if you're shopping around for a community that offers resort style living, intentional planning, and some of the most complete amenities anywhere in DFW, this is it. From pools and trails to fitness centers, events, and design forward streetscapes, Painted Tree isn't just about homes, it's about lifestyle. Let's break it down. All right, guys, another 20-minute drive east down 380, and we are here in McKinney, Texas, in Painted Tree. This is a community I remember when I started seeing the marketing for it. I didn't think it would be that big. This community is humongous, and it's got a lot of different neighborhoods within it as well. So one of the things that you will really enjoy about this community is the community amenities. So let's see how it weighs. They've got pools. They're going to have multiple pools, parks, playgrounds, the hike and bike trails, the fishing ponds. I'm out here right now at an amenity that they're kind of in the middle of building back there called the Outpost. And that's gonna be a big outdoor area overlooking the lake, which is gonna be a central figure here in Painted Tree. The fitness center and a lifestyle director. This gets a full 10 out of 10. Location and accessibility. Highway 380 just 1.2 miles away. Costco right there on 380, 1.2 miles away. Urgent care a mile away. Retail and entertainment. Now, I would tell you there's lots of retail around, but as far as an entertainment hub, that's gonna be 8.7 miles away. That's gonna be the Villages at Allen or the Allen Outlets. That gets a 4 out of 10. And it's here in McKinney ISD, which is a perennial top 25, top 50 school district this year, 8 out of 10. So overall, the location and accessibility gets an 8 out of 10. All right, let's dig into the numbers. Home value. The asking price per square foot in Painted Tree is $233.23. The closed price per square foot in McKinney is just $216.13. The difference, just $17.10 above market value. That's good enough for an 8 out of 10. Safety. Here we are in far north McKinney. Low crime rates, well-planned neighborhoods all around this area with great emergency responses. A safety score of 9 out of 10. Last but not least, community stability. Painted Tree is a newer master plan community. Painted Tree has a lot of different builders in it, and that ranks as high as you possibly could. I'd like to see 5 or more in order to get max points in this category, and it does. So that being said, let's move on to how new, what phase this community is in. Painted Tree is in its mid phase right now. This is not a grand opening. They've been in here for a couple of years, but they do have a very long way to go. So there's a little bit of a deduction for that, rightfully so. If you, as I explained earlier, if you move into a neighborhood that has a lot of builders around, it's hard to sell your house. It doesn't do wonders for the resale market. So a little bit of a deduction there. The net score for community stability, 9 out of 10. The final score for Painted Tree gets an 8.8 out of 10. Let's hear the verdict. Painted Tree is a highly desirable community offering a rich amenity package, competitive pricing, and access to top-tier retail and schools. While it's slightly above market on price per square foot, the overall lifestyle offering growth potential makes it a strong investment. Now guys, let's recap. We saw 3 wonderful communities here in this video. Spiritas Ranch, Mosaic, and here we are in Painted Tree. As always, I'm looking forward to the next one. Woot woot.